same anxiety we're feeling is nothing more than fear. We tap into that source of love. And we maintain that sense of peace. And then we begin to feel really empowered. We learn how to empower ourselves no matter what's going on.
Now, are miracles created, or do they just happen?
But if you're talking about miracles like what the Bible talks about or miracle healing, that's the result of miracle-minded thinking. And again, into that place where my body is a spaceship here on Earth. Let's put it that way. And so if the command center is not functioning properly, I have control over that command center. Because if it's not, it's my space is haywire. It's because I'm being driven by the wrong force. So when I replace that fear circuit and correct it through the left force, that spaceship operates like it's designed to do and straight away. So then I have the vehicle to operate properly.
In your book, The Healing Moment, you actually have some exercises here for people, don't you?
Yeah, at the end of every chapter, I don't do separate workbooks on my book. I put my workbooks right in the book so people don't have to buy two books. And I think the exercises and the reviews, they get such good reviews because, it's like people learn best when the exercises are ways to help people access these parts of themselves that I talked about in the book.
Would you call yourself a life coach?
It's really unfortunate. And it's like a large financial institution. You would think that they'd be more professional than that.
I feel like if I was the same one, I was like I was a kid. I was the go-to person for my friends and all. And that's where my license is. That's where all my career has been in the field of psychotherapy. And so I started writing a few years ago. And so I wouldn't call myself a life coach, but I definitely, we all are when we're in this profession.
And you talked about how parents shape their kids. One way or another, they do a good job, great job, or a horrible job, but your kids will end up that way.
Well, there again, we don't have to, and if you know children who are suffering, they can have a life coach. They can have a life coach if there's somebody in that child's life to say, parents aren't perfect, but you are, and you don't have to feel poorly, or you don't have to take this down. Sometimes parents have problems, sometimes they have their own illnesses, it could be physical.
We're going to take a short break. We're going to come back and take phone calls with you. Find out more about tonight's guest. Log on to picoftheday.com. Claims hit it 8 times. They take 8 times, and probably from 809 to 641. You can leave that for $89.
That's ridiculous. In my opinion, it should be illegal.
It should be legal. Now, I am utilizing more than 50% of my credit on a card. So that is basically fine. If I had a fairly low balance, let's talk about your paying it nearly down every month. Every home in America, including is going full electric faster than any of us ever imagined. That means your home needs to be ready to increase the electrical demand at a time when the grid is already strained, energy costs are going up, and rolling outages are more common than ever. So where do you start? You start by going solar with a complete solar solution. That means electric vehicle ready, panel to cancel out your power bill, and that's the company that I have trusted to put solar on my own home. Sunrise. With Sunrise, it's simple. It's always the best design, the best equipment, world-class installation, and all of it covered with the best warranty and customer service in the industry. So get in front of what's
Absolutely. He's coming up.
ready panel and power wall system from Sunrise. Start today at sunrise.com. Sunrise.com. CSLB wants your real estate. Window and door dealers make it easy to provide quality windows and doors that fit your home. Continually serving the trade professional community, we are your trusted partner from the beginning to the end of every project. You pay close attention to every detail of your client's home, and everyone you partner with should
How did your space go today? Did you sell out as you planned?
bring the quality and sophistication in every space. actually interested in my higher education because I know that the detail can be applied elsewhere. It's safe for everything that matters most to your clients. Marvin Dealers are here to help with your Marvin window and door project. They will get you to find the best solution to a Marvin window and doors to meet every need. Visit replacementmadeeasy.com today to find your trusted Marvin dealer. That's replacementmadeeasy.com. That's my shoulder with a few pieces. Recording. Pieces live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. And without mistakes. And stuff like that. So what's that on my computer? That would basically draw them on everything.
On the iHeartRadio app. Team found alive. I'm Bree Kenneth in the KFI 24-hour newsroom. A 16-year-old girl missing since January 1st in LA has been found safe.
Definitely. I mean, so long as there's interest.
The link is Castaneda was last seen entering an unknown vehicle outside her home in Carson. They're releasing two details that did say they're looking into at least one suspected male adult kidnapper. There could be more. Mayor Karen Banks delivered her first state of the city address yesterday. She spoke about the homeless, safety in the city, and potholes. She also says the new budget includes $250 million in funding for public safety and housing. Local LAPD officers as well. The LAPD is asking for victims of an alleged serial rapist to come forward. 45-year-old Matthew Werner was arrested on suspicion of several rapes across the Southland, some dating back to 2015. They say he used social media and dating apps to meet the women who later became his victims. The attack happened in Hollywood, North Hollywood, Mid-City, and Brooklyn Hills. Student workers at the California State University level are filing for their own union. Joining together is the only pathway to free competitive voice at the CSU. They will be for working conditions, pay, and engagement. So Catherine Hutchinson, she's president of California State University Employees Union. Roughly 10,000 college students at CSU campuses work under the category of non-academic student assistance. Student workers will launch the campaign starting this week. And it's tax day today, but not for SoCal. We have until October 16th to file. The federal government declared a tax extension for all the 3 counties in the state. No extension paperwork is necessary. And the home house advantage did not work for the Dodgers. They lost to the Mets 8-6. Southland weather from KFI, partly cloudy skies. We'll see highs in the low to mid-60s. Right now it's 57 in Huntington Beach, 58 in Fullerton, 56 in Long Beach, and it's 50 in Calabasas. We leave local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Kenneth.
City West facility, everything works out. Then westbound from the 2nd Avenue to 605. Southbound does the 2 West Lane, check out the road work until 5. And then down at CF2, earlier crash on the 5 southbound after the 605 has 16 lanes divided for number midnight area. Monterey Park, there is a work zone, 60 westbound from Garfield to 710. Right into the check out the road work at 35. You're seeing slowly from William Car. KFI. I get you there faster on Friday. And going the extra mile takes hard work. The company's pushing to go further. You will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. 41,000 items ready to ship. Minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com. iHeart Podcast is excited to welcome Jay Steady to the iHeart family. Tune into On Purpose with Jay Steady. This podcast where the former monk shares fascinating conversations with insightful people and investigates ways to live life today on purpose.
Like in the news, one of the lost out of systems, the first time we get partner. They're used to watching them do the same things and the same activities. Let's see them do something new.
Listen to On Purpose with Jay Steady on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
I've got a lot of language learning last 8 weeks, and really better stone is hands down and super. I love that it teaches you phrases and things in real-life conversations. And they have the best speech recognition tool. It tells you how accurate your pronunciation is. So you can really nail your accent in almost any language you want. Spanish, Italian, Chinese, and Korean. Or get access to all 25 languages for life. Usually that is Stone's lifetime unlimited subscription. Check it out at stone.com.
How much do you think your home is worth this year? Do you think it's going to be worth the same next year? If you're thinking about borrowing on your home equity, your odds of getting more out of your home is probably higher now than it will be next year. I certainly believe that. Some experts forget that property values might decline over the next few years, making it more challenging for borrowers to tap into that home equity. If you need $75,000 or more, HMS Capital can help you borrow the money you need for the equity, whatever your situation may be. HMS Capital will have the best solution to help you. So appraisal, credit report fees will apply. I've done 2 mortgages with HMS Capital. Clearly, I'm a fan. I believe they are simply the best at what they do. Call 833-255-5698. 833-255-5698. Visit hmscapital.com. When people are flooding or whatever, when you're starting to feel triggered, I've had calls from people here about this.
This is Michael Escobar, the managing partner of Jacoby & Myers, and the official law firm of the LA Dodgers. With decades of experience and a track record of success, Jacoby & Myers will protect your rights and make sure you get the compensation you deserve. Trust Jacoby & Myers to go to bat for you. We offer free consultations to help you understand your case and the options available to you. Don't strike out with the insurance companies. Call Jacoby & Myers today. Jacoby & Myers, just for you since 1972.
And we have a new flavor, the radio flavored Coca-Cola. That should be their next product, right? Candle World. Oh no. Oh, do you want a soda?
Canvas, I think that your project is very interesting, but also people like you who are artists, free-handed, I think will have a lot of social value in the future because you're someone who can actually produce something, and I think that's very interesting.
I agree. In real life, where you buy an NFT and you get a physical piece, so that it's the digital and in real life. Because I would like to just have regular full art to be able to display art that's also my NFT, but also as a digital representation of it, going to be played on a TV or used on a business projected, whatever. Yeah, there's great utility there for, it's like I'm in a business, right? I have 2 shut down right now, but the other one's getting started. I'm going to have 2, whatever. But to you, what I got was a tribute to the colors. And that, like some sort of infinite zoom or whatever, those would be just, wow. Very true.
I'm in agreement. I think of all the generic art that's in society, like hotel art, lobby art, that kind of stuff. And really, I mean, if somebody can get their tentacles on that with the NFT game, that'd be mind-blowing, essentially. People would want to stay in certain hotel rooms because of the NFT art. And essentially, it's all the same stuff. It would just be linked to the chain.
Ask your questions, share your stories. Dr. Donna Marks with us as we talk about the healing moment when we come back. So important to understand how cybercrime and identity theft are affecting our lives. Your personal information gets exposed so often that it is dangerous and easy for cybercriminals to steal your identity. Protect your identity can be easy with LifeLock by Norton. LifeLock detects and alerts you to potential identity threats that you might not spot on your own. Loans that they take out in your name, crimes committed by thieves pretending to be you. When you become a victim of identity theft, a dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. No one can prevent all identity theft and monitor all transactions at all businesses, but it's easy to help protect yourself with LifeLock. Join now, save up to 25% off your first year with promo code STORE. When you call 1-800-LifeLock, 1-800-LifeLock, or head on over to LifeLock.com, LifeLock.com, and use promo code STORE.
I would have been able to buy the machine, and then I would have my meeting on 0 hours sleep.
At 45 years old, I didn't so much to look at me. I was truly dreading getting older. I had weak bones, achy joints, legs that wouldn't go away, almost no energy, and constant brutal headaches. I was falling apart, physically and mentally. I searched desperately for alternatives to pain management traditional doctors offered. I tried alternative medicines with no prior results. Then I wake up and drove off the coast to coast with short noise. I decided unique recommendation 90 days. Because last time I launched the Brilliant Goals,
No,
I
no,
lost
because
95
my
pounds. I'm not pharmacy medications and pharmaceuticals. Best of all, the pain is gone. I look forward to my future. This is Rebecca's project, and a pain like you ready to your future. Don't stop it for another day. Visit criticalhealthnews.com. Sign up to receive the newsletter of Dr. Wallace and Dr. I'm calling to advise on nutritional advice. Call 855-949 radio to speak to an experienced nutritional consultant. That's 855-949-7234 from criticalhealthnews.com.
All right, okay, I'm going to do out because I need to get this shit sold, okay?
Take care, Canvas.
And there's 96 people that hang around a bit longer, honestly. This stuff's quite important, okay?
Absolutely. Keep us posted. Hope everything goes well. Certainly. We're welcoming builders and El Sol. Appreciate you guys being here. Bassomatic, we were talking last night a little bit. You had seen the Disclosure Project. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, what were your... Yeah, so this happened in May 8th, 2001. It's Stephen Greer's project, essentially, that had many, like a dozen or so government contractors and former employees of like the FAA and stuff with all the data that they had from alien disclosure. Are you familiar with this?
And I gotta say, I'm really impressed with this.
Most people don't realize what they're doing or they make mistakes and then they don't want to correct them. Like last time I was on your radio show, I made
Correct.
a mistake. I'm sorry. The mistake I made was we were talking about what is the thing who died recently? I said your voice sounded like him.
Oh, hard. Not say this anyway. You have to be crazy. That guy said just kept
No. He recently died. But anyhow, I'm watching the thing. Yeah, he became like Rush Limbaugh. And he had become addicted to opiates, and I said cocaine originally, and I dropped that I had read that. And then
I'm in agreement with you. We're at a certain point, though, as well, that technology is advanced so that a lot of that can be fake. Not saying that it is, not saying that the stuff in the past hasn't been, but there's like this sweet spot between like 1945 and say like 2010, where it was much more difficult to do the golden age of like UFO sightings and such, because like anybody can put anything on the cell phone now. Welcome, Power. If you'd like to come on up, feel free.
But that's part of reparenting, rather than feeling ashamed and oh my God,
I have done so. Love to hear what he has to say. I hope things are going well for Power. Power, you're in China. Your boots on the ground in China, correct? Hey, Power, are you in China? Man, you're like the one motherfucker in China on Twitter. That's amazing. You're like the one motherfucker from China on Twitter. How the hell did you figure it out? Like around the Great Firewall of China. And like no one comes to your house and beats you up from the CCP? Damn, that's tight. So you can get porn in China and like do. And nobody, like, it's seen as fine, like even though you're going around this huge Great Firewall of China. Like it doesn't hurt your social credit score or anything? Well, I just find it interesting. It's like China has put in a lot of energy into the infrastructure of the Great Firewall of China, and essentially, like I would see that as something that they wouldn't want people to do, but you seem to be able to do it pretty easily. To be able to move through and not pay attention to that fear. It's still there, but you just aren't directed by it anymore. So you have to be willing to go through this. And You know, I mean, I'm surprised. I thought it was more strict than that. I'm glad we get to talk to you. There aren't many people from China with whom we get to speak, so that's great. How are things in your world? Where are you in China, if I may ask?
And you feel better and more recharged and more regenerated and more empowered every day. And eventually, when you start to say you're poor and you start making a lot of money, but you have no friends, and all of a sudden you are sharing and receiving time with people that you enjoy being around, whatever the case may be.
What are your feelings on the social credit score? How does that affect you on a daily basis?
And being the love that they want and love finds them. So no matter what you do, you can achieve it. That's the miracle. The miracle is deciding that I'm here to be happy. And I'm going
Yeah,
to
definitely.
to do that. And then we go
Welcome, Canvas. See that you're back. Welcome.
Who taught you these things, Donna, or did you teach them to yourself?
Well, I put myself in learning ever since I was young. I was interested, and then I wound up getting married at the age of 16 to get out of my dysfunctional family and start my own dysfunctional family. And so I was all stuck. I had my own addictions and my own mental health issues. And then I knew I was going to be a therapist. And so I started studying psychology, and I got years and years of therapy. And I went on a spiritual quest and got into recovery, and that was a little wayward for a while, but I finally got it all together.
We were having a little bit of a discussion on the Disclosure Project. It was a 2001 documentary by Dr. Stephen Greer at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C. that basically is the closest thing that we've had to major disclosure in the United States. And then since then, we've had some other interesting, I would say, types of disclosure. Michael actually lives off of near San Diego, and one of the major ones that was filmed was the Tic Tac. And Michael, are you familiar with the Tic Tac over the USS Nimitz and everything?
And it was a process. And I could have saved a lot of time by not resisting at certain things, but it's just the way it was, and it's the way it was supposed to be, and it's all good.
Well, good evening. Let's go east of the Rockies. JB in Texas. Welcome to the show. Hi, JB. Good morning, George. I got the mark. George, this flight deep insight into the human psyche and what you say is wise. There's something that I would like to pass along that I think might clarify something for you. The subject of forgiveness is something that's come up a number of times. Yes, you did that. What does it mean to forgive? To forgive someone means to release the condemnation to which you hold them. If you injure me, and I hate you for it, and I condemn you for it, that is going to tie up
Really? So it's like I know they can potentially use cloaking technology, or they're on a different type of wavelength perhaps, but that one in 2004 with the USS Nimitz, that one's very clear. And I don't know exactly what it was, but it was certainly something that seems not of this world.
Good for you.
This is one thing that when we have a question like that we don't understand, sometimes we have to dig pretty deep before we find it. But if you have clarity about the meaning of things, that's a starting point.
Correct.
Let's get down to reaction to that.
Yeah, what came to my mind when you were describing, and I agree with you 100%, is that, it's like you have a rope wrapped all around you when you have this resentment that you're hanging on to, this grievance, this condemnation, and you're holding yourself hostage to that. the other person just off doing whatever they do. And maybe if it's someone that we live with, you know, they feel it. There's no doubt about it. But when you unwrap that rope, when you all of a sudden can move, you know, and you can express yourself so differently, and you can, if you're fortunate, you know, you can kind of process that with someone.
Definitely, it's definitely wild, and I don't know exactly what it was myself. I do know though that essentially, to me, there seems to be a philosophy of slow disclosure. So it's not like this one event that, you know, normally that you would think. It's like we just get this little stuff that's leaked out, and then yes, go ahead.
And sometimes people say, I gotta remember this, I forgive you, but I don't forget it. It's not relevant anymore. It's just, you perceive it totally differently.
You're asking voices in someone's head. Is it a machine from a Jewish perspective?
God bless y'all. I was just telling Tommy, they're kind of shooting over here in the streets and running around, so I got to be a little bit careful because I got to be outside because I got a cell phone. All right, look, I wanted to thank the Coastorians because they watched Two Kills Pork and Coco making Dateline one of the best shows they had on Dateline on Friday. So I want to thank the Coastorians. They got a little look at what Louisiana and what our police force is all about. Now, I want to thank two other people, George, that you said to give shout out. Moblin Man and Stan the Man, boy, they just helped me out so much. Now, Donna, my question for you is they call me the God, Guns, and Gold Man, the Bible Bullets, and Vision Man. I know you said that children are innocent, but if you read the Bible, it says that we're all born in sin except for Christ. Christ is the only perfect being.
Who is the woman?
You know, our souls and everything. But I agree with you.
Have you ever, I don't know if this is a thing in China, but there are targeted individuals. Essentially, there's a type of technology, telepathy, that allows you to essentially become someone's inner voice, essentially. And this potentially could be something that, I don't know, the Chinese government is using. Do you know, like, do you recognize the woman's voice?
George knows this and the audience does too. I saw so much racism here in my hometown, and George played What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong. Just came here one time and said, this is the most racist city in America. I'm never coming back here. So how do you deal with racism? Thank you, George, and thank you for the audience, and God bless y'all.
Wow. That makes sense. I don't know credentials under this thing whatsoever, so I'm not really, I can't tell you, yeah, I've read the Bible, but I'm not an expert in it, and interpreting how can we make mistakes as a human being?
Absolutely. You can DNA test me, and also through my actions.
There are racist people, and to say that there aren't racist people is disavowing reality. I think we've come a long, long way in the past 50 years.
And I'm in agreement. And Chinese people don't like that.
It's going to be learning how to love. We are all God's children. We are all His children. And rather than trying to do, this is what I do, and it works really well for me. I have all kinds of races and cultures in my life, and we break bread together, we do things together, and whatever barriers are there are fear-based and ignorance-based, and ignorance is fear. When you get to know someone for who they are rather than the color of their skin, we're all alike, basically. We have different customs and cultures and all that, I'm not denying that. But again, the change has to happen within. So rather than reinforcing racism, reinforce love.
I understand what you're saying. Essentially, a lot of people there don't like any kind of religion and Messiah idealism or ideology goes against that.
Going across the board, there still isn't enough voluntary cohesion because people are afraid, they don't understand. And if we keep talking about how bad racism is, we're not talking about the opportunities within different communities to come together and allow it. And that has to happen, in my opinion, on an individual basis.
So we're starting calling Madonna in Watertown, New York. Hi, Madonna.
Thank you. And Donna, wow.
Like a prophet or like just a great person?
No, please, not what I was.
Do you think you have any supernatural powers? It sounds like you're in connection with something. If something's in your head that's a woman that's telling you some things, that doesn't happen to most people.
Yeah, sometimes I have illusion about myself, but I was really exactly coming of feelings because I have powerful emotions, the waves of emotions spreading in the atmosphere. Research people with everything makes you feel with joy and pain of others. And often you will get a premonition idea or feeling that is like whatever was based on this feeling.
Well, we are going to be fine. Some of us are going to be fine, some of us aren't, depending on our choices.
If you go with a gut feeling,
If we choose
oftentimes
to be loved
it's
and
an
we choose
accident
to strive
or
to be
something.
loved,
You'll
we
be
will
at the
be
right
fine.
place at the right time.
We're
Or
going
you
to get
won't
hurt
be
like
at
anybody
the place
else,
that
but we
you
will
may
heal.
not be.
It's kind of like if you get cut and you keep grasping at the wind, it doesn't heal. But when you allow it to just heal, our mental abilities to heal from pain are the same. Sometimes we have to get cut with them. Sometimes it's the pain is so deep or the wound is so deep that it needs to help. We don't just say, oh, to heal. So it's an individual responsibility. So I wouldn't say we are going to be fine. Some of us are and some of us aren't. If we choose to carry anger and hatred in our hearts, we're not going to be fine. Those people won't be fine. They'll be angry and hateful.
Do you think good wins out over bad most of the time?
Well, of course, I mean, and good will always win over evil.
Donna, explain your social networking. You're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, how people can find you.
Well, the best place is to register at www.donnamark.com and all my systems like that. And we would love to have people register.
That's the way to do it.
Send me an email. Love to hear from you.
Well, you got a big lift by kind of telling people that essentially you're the savior of the world. A lot of people won't necessarily take you seriously on that. What makes you feel like you are the savior of the world, Power?
Yes, it does.
We're going to come back in just a moment on picoftheday. Take final calls with Dr. Donna myself. Tell you what's in store in the next program as well. And don't touch your dial. We will be back and post the call.
That I was his last messenger in his universe history, and when I die, all when I accomplish my mission.
Not necessarily. I mean, it could come from an alien civilization, perhaps.
I'm free tennis in the campsite 24-hour newsroom. Nurse Karen Graham delivered her State of the City address yesterday. She spoke about the homeless, safety in the city, and potholes. Says the new budget includes $250 million in funding for public safety and housing. She also spoke about hiring more LAPD
No,
officers.
I don't. I think that you're a regular person who perhaps is being influenced by people using telepathic weapons.
One of 9 soldiers killed last month at a nighttime training exercise near Fort Campbell. Members of the Rising Shield of America have authorized a strike. That means the union leadership can
It is. It is. What I'm saying is perhaps like you had someone who was a male talking to you in 2014, and then most recently, like even today, a female. Is that correct? Sure, no problem. In 2014, you had a male voice in your head, and then just recently you had a female voice in your head. Is that correct?
Why? You're talking about either in your hand or in your head. When you said it, I got confused.
With your brain, yes. Are you familiar with telepathic weapons? Okay, so I call them weapons. It's a real machine that can be used to be that inner voice in your head. I've seen it. It aired on American television about 13 years ago, and it's certainly something that is probably been advanced since then. It's not really disclosed that much. They don't talk about it in media and such. But what I was, at least in my opinion, perhaps, you could have someone using those against you if they are caught talking with different, male voice or female voices. And if you know anything about telepathy, that is something that can be into telepathy a little bit. But what we were specifically saying in 2014, it was a male voice, and then most recently it's a female voice. Is that correct?
Water system removes 99% of fluorine and other contaminants with delicious water and softer clean air. No maintenance, no salt. And now on a blue credit, own a light source system for as low as $75 a month. All light source systems 800-803-2696.
Like anybody, we are good and bad within our family.
Or visit lightsourcewater.com. iHeart Podcast is excited to welcome Jay Shetty to the iHeart family.
Well, when it comes to
This podcast with a former mom shares fascinating conversations with insightful people and investigates ways to live life today on purpose. When was the last time you discovered the first time you did partner? We're used to watching them do the same things, with the same activities. Let's see them do something fresh and new. Listen to On Purpose with Jay Shetty on the iHeart Radio app or wherever you get your podcast. KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. KFI, AM 640, KFI, AM 640, more stimulating talk. Comes out only 15 things a day. Sign up today at coasttocoastam.com.
Things or demanded you to do things that mental abilities, technology, and one is mental disorder, where they have more than one voice in their head, or there's a very dominating voice that they can't control. Not myself, it was a melting voice, not others. I know that people they tell strongly. Their souls are more affected by my vibration. But observe everybody in the streets, multi-classified. They believe what I'm saying. Some people said, but I just heard yesterday said, it's almost like electricity in the body. When I close my eyes on them, they feel
So you're saying that when you look at someone, that person at whom you are looking tells you that they feel something when you look at them. Is that correct?
To talk to George Norris, call the Wild Card line at 800-501-4721. To talk toll-free from east to the Rockies, call 800-825-5033. From west of the Rockies, toll-free, call 800-618-8255. To reach George via site name George 9.
Like you had some kind of supernatural effect on them by looking at them. Is that correct? Do you have any idea? Well, and here's another thing. You said this started in 2014, so you had a normal upbringing, correct? That's correct. Hit your head or anything. Just one day in 2014, you heard this voice inside of you that told you all this stuff. Is that correct? What happened?
Something else you'll enjoy are free YouTube channels. Yeah, our channel is really cool. Interviews of recent past shows, and it's also free. So if you head over to picoftheday.com, head up to the top, there's a little YouTube icon. Click that, free and yours. Back with final calls with Donna Marks in a moment on Coast to Coast AM, but first, HealthyLooking.com has a combination of products to help with everyday stress, fatigue, and movement, while increasing energy and stamina, plus helps to fall asleep easier and more soundly while losing weight. It elevates in the morning for energy and focus, then accelerate weight management and sleep combo before bed works great.
I've maybe gotten 4 to 5 hours of sleep max a night. I'm sleeping between 6 and 7. I wake up, use the bathroom, but I go right back to sleep, which just never happened before, which is pretty awesome.
I noticed a higher level of happiness. I also noticed that I wasn't taking naps. I had more energy. I was more in the moment with my kids. Like we were laughing more. We were more excited. Every single person needs to feel good.
I lost 10 pounds and 5 and a half inches off my weight, and I'm so proud of myself. It gives you energy, it helps you sleep better. It just works. I stand by it 100%. I was on a handful of medication to help me sleep, to help me be happy, kind of therapy. When I'm ready to go to sleep, I'm getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep every night. I've lost some pounds, inches, mainly. My family has me that.
George's Power Pack accelerates and elevates, including free gift for daytime weight management, plus free shipping with promo code George. Accelerate, elevate, free gift, slip, and now free shipping for one exclusive special price with George's Power Pack. Order now at healthylooking.com or toll free 800-394-9930. That's 800-394-9930. Shop on DoorDash for better focus, less stress, a great full night's sleep. Control and prices on everything are so high. Well, one great place you can start is with something you know you can't do without, your cell phone. Right now, if you switch to consumer cellular, you can save up to half on your wireless bill. That's right, half on your wireless bill. On the consumer cellular, you can still get the same great coverage as the nation's largest carriers with 5G coverage for free. You don't lose anything except a high wireless bill. Consumer cellular has budget-friendly plans that start at just $20 a month. You can even add up to 6 people to your account for just $15 per month. Go to consumercellular.com/Lori for a limited time. Get 25 off your wireless bill and use promo code Lori when you get there. Consumercellular.com/Lori, promo code Lori for $25 off. When banks fail, when bonds are devalued, and the stock market is in turmoil, you'll be glad you own gold. And now you can own gold in a retirement account. That's right. First Gold will help you convert an old IRA or 401k to an IRA in physical gold. Just text the word coach to 989898 and get a free info kit on going.
Power, there's something called electronic harassment, electromagnetic torture, or psychotronic torture. It's a theory that malicious actors, often government agents or crime rings, make use of electromagnetic radiation such as microwave auditory effect, radar, and surveillance techniques to transmit sounds and thoughts into people's heads, affect people's bodies, and harass people. Do you think this could be something that is similar to what you've been through?
Hey, welcome back to the Ghost Story about the Donna Marks. Donna, we've heard so many stories about people who are lost. They can't find themselves. How do they get back in? How do they get to find themselves?
Well, if they can, go inward to find themselves because you can't be lost when you live outside yourself. But a lot of people get so far removed from their core, from their center, from their true self, that they need to get some help. And there's lots of help available for that. There's counseling centers, there's coaches, there's coaches for spirituality. And so if you feel
People have an inner voice that's like their gut instinct, but it's normally of their own voice. It's not different people's voices like your experience.
Choosing to get help when you need it is self-love. There are always some good times in our lives, so we don't have to answer. We can't access someone, they put it that way. Maybe we have them, but we can't access someone. We're so depleted and we're so depressed, we're so low on our reserves that we must get some help to get rebooted. And there's nothing simple about that because it's courageous. And a little bit of courage will take us a long way out of home.
How does an individual know that they need help?
Well, what happens eventually is the pain becomes so great, or the question, people can't.
I am going back to the Bible. You can DNA test me.
There's so much pain, they're so powerful, they're so angry that they don't like themselves, and it's just full of all this tension and anger all the time.
Oh, I think we're being very respectful. I think we're being very respectful. We've got some other people here who might have some comments on this. Godmother, do you have any comments or on this or anything else?
Because I have been miserable in my life, and I had to learn how to be happy, how to have that towards defending, and I do have to get help with that. So if you want to be happy, and you want to be joyful and peaceful, you can be. But you have to be willing to dig in the dirt a little bit and to crawl your way out of the cold, so that we want to tuck ourselves in. We may not have put ourselves there, but we tuck ourselves in. I think that misery doesn't love company. I think because that's a bad use of the word love. Misery is more comfortable with misery. Like,
Well, Jeffrey in San Diego, they get the segment started. Hey, Jeffrey, go ahead. Good evening to you. Hi there. My question is, I've got this about 65 right now, and as a person trying to, but it's somebody mistakes as far as I see it, and to their big mistake. One of them was getting addicted. I don't know, why I crossed that line, whether it's genetic or just, circumstantial. But I did. I got that line. So I blocked that. But that's different companies like a ton of other mistakes, and it seems like
We can.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I mean, I'm not unhappy or anything. I'm grateful. But the thing is that is there a switch in I think there's in his heart where he talks about a mental switch, like we have control over that switch. So therefore, we're not here. Have you ever practiced that?
Absolutely. And the switch, there's two big things. You said, I made a big mistake, I got addicted. and then I made a lot of other big mistakes. Well, you didn't make the mistake. Okay, things are made to get us addicted. Alcohol has a very high content of alcohol. It doesn't need to have that much to get people relaxed. It gets you addicted. Pills I get you addicted. I know opiates were just horrible. Cigarettes were made to get you addicted. They put highly refined and corn syrup and all this stuff and sugars to get you addicted. So it's not your fault that you got addicted. It's not your fault. The switch is when you say, wait just a minute here. I gave my power over to this, and I'm going to take it back because I'm substituting all this garbage for love. And love, which I hear in your voice, you say I'm a happy person, it's there. Addiction is very easy to stop when you just say every time you want to do something, it's killing you. So I'm going to do something that's good for me instead. It's very easy to stop. You just walk away from it. It might take a few days, maybe a couple weeks, but you'll just walk away from it like any other bad addiction because you'll be feeling so good about just being the love that you are that you won't want to continue to do it. But it's not your fault you got addicted. It's not your fault. Your brain was tampered with. Somebody screwed with your brain. You don't have a brain disorder until you keep letting them screw with it. Then it does get disordered. But it can auto-correct at any time as long as you stop before it's completely damaged.
Good point. Let's go to Rita, Los Angeles. Hey, Rita, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to make a few comments and then there's a question at the end. So I absolutely agree and have learned this lesson a long time ago that there's only two dynamics at play in life, love or fear. And it's a matter of choosing which one you're going to operate out of. So the doctor, I love how he prays a lot of things, but I'm concerned about when he happens for in happens to that mother time you the word love is in a very clear way. It's not made, it's God. It's by the act of God in the actual presence of God flowing within us that we're able to operate as love because he is love. So it's not just a pure thing that you know, like we're self-governing all by ourselves. It's absolutely, and I believe I said that, and in my opinion, God is love, and love is God. I agree with you.
All right, Rita, what is the question?
Productive day. And then, regarding forgiveness, of course, I completely understand the importance of letting go and not letting someone else's sin or harm continue to put you. However, I think there's a part of that process that a lot of people get lost in, and I know I'm struggling with. There's a difference between don't let that just continue to grow in you and harm you, and reconciliation. In other words, person is trying to reconciliation here, and by just putting yourself back in the presence of that person or letting their harm continue to harm you.
Thank you, Godmother. Hustle. Go ahead, please.
You're talking about two different things. Being a victim is not forgiveness. So if someone is opinion is harming me, but before I determine that they're just an evil, a person who never auto-corrects their own behavior, I have to find my voice with love today. You know, you've said that to me one too many times, and I'm not comfortable with the way you're talking to me. And if you ever raise your hand again, or if you ever call me that kind of name again, I'm going to have to take some action. It is not acceptable behavior. I will not work with it. I will not tolerate it. And it's not okay. I love you, but this is not okay. I think I gave an example of that earlier. So, but we have to find that voice of love within us. Okay? It can't come across as an attack, because then we're just engaging in that trauma behavior, which is totally irresponsible and totally non-productive. Self-respect and self-love run hand in hand, and we have to find that voice within us that says, no more.
Yeah, you can't allow people to run all over us, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And we teach people how to treat us by what we tolerate. But fear keeps us from saying anything about it. Fear, fear, fear. Stop avoiding and being communicated and focusing on part of God in a positive and constructive way.
Next up, we've got Jeremy in Jamestown, North Dakota. Hey, Jeremy. So, George.
Fabulous. Absolutely, and so many people that have had afterlife experiences describe, some of them remember, some of them don't, but I had one myself when I tried to take my own life when I was 15 years old.
One thing that you said that rings true, I think, is that there is no one religion that's better than any other. I, as a Jew, can tell you that Judaism really only works on Earth. If you're on in a space shuttle or on a different planet, it doesn't necessarily work. And it's very internal to the person. I really think that's a subjective idea for anyone of what is right. So I think you make some really excellent points there. And, I open it up. What does anyone else think about that?
And so sometimes we do have these near-death experiences because when we do go back home, we do have a reminder of why we're here, and we do come back as a comfort.
Go to Joe, Long Island, New York. Hey, Joseph, go ahead. You were talking earlier about the tunnel versus that tunnel and the hypothetical to my question. A lot of people go out on these birds come out where you can call the people and put as to what they're saying and listening. But that goes on a day with a guy that just isn't corrected at all, so you can't bring forth that attribute. So the question would be, how do you keep in mind your good traits or attributes when they're not being received at all?
Well, you don't give your power over to someone else to determine whether or not what you're going to do embrace them. If you have these attributes, if you're a good listener, you're a good listener. That doesn't mean that everybody's going to be interested in you. And it's not right. Not everybody likes watermelon. Not everybody likes foodporn. Most people do. It's just not a good fit. And so rather than wasting time dwelling on whether or not, how come people can fit this on a good listener.
Things up with people get your book for healing habits.
They can get it on the bookstore. Simon Schuster has distributed it. And if your bookstore doesn't have it, they will order it for you. You can get it right on my webpage, www.thedonnamarket.com, and they can also get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
What other projects are you working on?
Well, I'm very busy on my concierge practice where I work with just a few people at a time, and they can invite different families that want to function better. I work with addiction, mental health. So that's one of my big projects. And I am working on my next book, but I'm not going to talk about it right now. It's about relationships. But that's all I'm going to say about it. And I'm just focusing about my writing. I do blogs every week, and I do something I just wasn't expecting to do this point in my life, but I'm loving it.
Super. Thanks, John. I keep in touch with us, okay?
Oh, thank you so much for having me on the show and for your comments.
Get some sleep. It's late on the East Coast to be sure. Great programs all week long, folks, on Coast to Coast. For Dan Galante, Tom Dan Heiser, Lisa Lyon, Lex Van Hood, John Lavisher, Stephanie Smith, Chris Falls.
I think you've got a lot of agreement there. We've got some new speakers. Ronnie Narcos, would you like to say something? Go ahead.
Coast to Coast AM. We'll see you on our next.
Ronnie, can you hear us? It sounds like you got some music going on. Alrighty there. I think it's important to define what God is, and this is obviously a very difficult thing, but in my opinion, God is energy. What does anyone think about that? That God is energy? Yeah, I love me some Eminem, Ronnie Narcos, but we're just having a conversation here. So basically, we have to define what God is, and to me, the best way I've been able to define what God is energy. Does anyone disagree with that? That's a beautiful thing. And when we have a whole room of people on such a topic as what is God, and it's very difficult to define, when we say God is energy, that people agree with that, that to me is that's a common ground that we as exactly. And I mean, it's taken me 30 plus years to be able to come up with that definition. But you know what? I've talked to people of many religions, and no one's ever said that was incorrect. Horace, please join us. What would you like to say?
Literally, they entire village in Africa. So I donated that ring, and now we are really coming in for our organization from women and men all over the world. Our ring donors send their rings directly to Central America, and they give us more money for those rings than anyone else ever has.
It's changing the world.
It helps us do what we do best with this drilling clean water wells in Liberia, Africa.
Tangible investment owner Sylvie Genova has become America's top dealer in coin, precious metals, jewelry, and fine art. She'll guarantee she'll get more.
Thanks so much, Joe, and Nicole, for all you've done for us.
Call now for a no-obligation free professional appraisal. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800. 800-711-2800. Whether you love us, hate us, or have a date in your mind, we're glad you're here.
By 24 hours in Peru. Nurse Sharon Bass delivered her first state of the city address yesterday. She spoke about the homeless, safety in the city of potholes. She says her new budget includes $250 million in funding for public safety and housing. She also spoke about hiring more police officers. A 15-year-old girl.
That's beautiful. What do you do in a situation where you don't feel anybody's wronged you, so you don't need to forgive them for anything?
Police are releasing two details that would say they're looking into at least one suspected male adult kidnapper, but there could be more. Actress Alice Baldwin is trying to get a lawsuit filed by the family of Helena Hutchins. The actor claims the lawsuit is especially misguided and that Hutchins' family had been distant from the cinematographer for years.
I agree, it is. There are situations I think that you make very valid points that people need to forgive. Definitely. What are your thoughts on forgiving and forgetting, or what is it? Do you believe in forgetting and forgetting, or forgetting till next time?
Last week, court documents show the two men got into an argument over an
many for sure.
It's tax day, but not for SoCal. We have until October 16th to file. The federal government declared a tax extension for all the paperwork necessary. And the Dodgers lost in the Mets 8-6. Southland weather from KFI, partly cloudy with highs in the low to mid-50s. Right now it's 55 in San Clemente. Seal Beach has 56, 54 in Flora, and 54 in Ontario. We late local from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Bree Tennis.
I think it's difficult. Oh, go ahead, Horace. Sorry.
Westbound from Azusa Avenue to the 605 two left lanes to check out the road work until 6. We're seeing delays in that area. Into Huda, we have 15. Earlier back on the 210 westbound at Laguna Canyon has been cleared for lanes. Your drive is recovering in that area. In Colton, there is a result to the two southbound from the 10 to Washington Place. The bus is going through the roof. We are going through the window. Hey, look, if you have old wood, aluminum, or even vinyl windows, now it's the made for you. 20 years ago, Bill and Kathy started American Windows because they had a horrible experience replacing their own windows. They won't let that happen here. They use some matrix technology to prevent dust, mold, moisture, bacteria, and excessive sound from getting in your home. Until April 30th, they'll pay your tax or give you expert installation. Your number 778-326. That's the window company that I use and I trust. My family and friends trust American Windows. Also, there's pick up the estimate 888-226-9908. That's 888-226-9908. Or go to AmericanWindows.com.
I think you make some valid points about forgiveness. I think perhaps in the future, people will have to forgive people for some of the wrongdoings, perhaps that they've done or even what their ancestors have done. And hopefully there's some forgiveness and we're able to move on. Do you think that we'll ever be able to get to this point, Horace?
No, your mom and dad called us to clean out your cellar. They were up at 3 too. Your dream was really strong, backing up, and we have to stop that nasty stuff from invading your bathroom. Try to be every day. We're rooters here. Wow. We make sure you live in a safe, clean house. So long. It's what a hero does.
If you have a cloud change, call Zero Zero Plumbing and Air. Go online at riverhero.com.
Around the corner, if you're trying to find that perfect gift, check out Bob Watches. BobWatches.com is one of the biggest inventories of pre-owned luxury watches. All the watches are certified authentic. You can trade or sell your luxury watches with them too. Now, the time to invest in a Rolex is prices have recently softened. They carry Cartier, Tudor, a lot more. Shop online, open your web browser, and Google the keyword Bob Watch Seed, $200 off your first purchase online. And I just got my Rolex from Bob's Watch.
I have a question for Power. Power, specifically, we were having a discussion a little earlier about China. And one thing, China's a very powerful country. Power, is there a Chinese plan to rule the world?
Bob's Watches and Bill Handle on Google. This is Jacob Allen. You've been involved in a motorcycle accident. Call 844-24-JACOB. KFI, AM 640.
So,
You're talking about Chinese people listening. We should probably get clear.
This program has been pre-recorded.
Maybe conquering America, or you're the ones like, is there a plan? Is it getting back to America?
well, what I mean to say, without going into that, on your television or your radio, do they talk about that China is going to take over the world?
From the heartland of America and the gateway to the West. Good morning, good evening, wherever you may be across the nation, around the world. I'm George Dory. This is Coast to Coast AM. Later tonight, turning around the negative. Here's what's happening. Tragedy struck Alabama Saturday night as gunfire erupted at a Sweet 16 birthday party in the heart of Dadeville, killing 4 young people, injuring 32 others, some of them critically. The investigation in the Tallahatchie County lasted throughout the day Sunday with no announcement of any arrests in the case. And this morning, in that small community of about 3,000 people, grief counselors were on hand at the high school there, where at least 2 of the victims were among the school's 485 students. Another tragedy. The FBI recently warned consumers against using free public charging stations for your phones, saying crooks have managed to hijack public chargers that can infect devices and malware or software that can give hackers access to your phone, tablet, or computer. Our expert Lauren Weinstein's with us. Lauren, how does this work and how bad is this problem?
Do you think China's going to take over the world in the future?
Well, for some years, it's really not that new. It's just one aspect of the reason why it's important to always be kind of careful with USB devices. Part of what made USB that's the universal serial button, by the way, is that it can transfer both power and data over a single cable. For many years, everyone has been warned never to plug into any USB devices you don't trust with flash memory cards being the biggest couple.
What do you... Go ahead.
It's quite easy for you to contain malware to get into your system and cause all manner of problems. Actually, that's just one level of what can happen with untrusted flash drives. There are some that can actually physically ruin the USB port on a computer or phone or other device, or even render the computer entirely unusable. They do this by building up a high voltage inside and then blasting
Yes, they are.
the computer. And it can even be worse. Down in Ecuador, just over the last years, it's been reported that there have been flash drives.
I mean, like, if you look into Ethiopian jewelry, they're very much tied to the Bible. In fact, their keeping of the Bible was more accurate than the Sephardim, than the Ashkenazim, and so so I'm just willing to say that perhaps maybe they don't look like what I think a traditional Jew looks like, but they're definitely black Jews.
One is obvious. Don't use public USB charge ports, and instead bring your own charger that plugs into a standard AC wall power socket and use your own USB cable. You can also get USB cables that only pass power from a USB port and don't include any way for data to pass through them. And there are also USB isolators that can protect against damaging high voltage to a charging port, so isolators may tend to be a bit pricey. On balance, the easiest way to help avoid the problem is simply to not use public USB charge ports at all. Bring your own charger and cable, as I just mentioned. And also, once again, just to remind everyone, if you happen to find an unknown flash drive sitting around somewhere and you're curious to see what's on it or just want to use it yourself, don't. Just try to just plug it into your own equipment because it's really not worth the risk. And Lord, if you bring your own USB charger and plug it into an outlet at an airport or something, you're okay, right? Yeah, it's fine. I'll have one little proviso now. Be sure you also bring your own USB cable because there are actually USB cables now that have embedded in the connectors at the end. Complete little computers that can actually do keylogging, malware, and all kinds of things. So bring your own charger, bring your own cable, and then you should be fairly safe. Amazing. I'll talk to you next week. Thank you. Apple has launched its Apple Card Savings Account with a 4.15% annual percentage rate interest yield. Almost better than banks. It requires no minimum deposit or balance. Apple said the users can set up an account from the wallet app on their iPhone. So we'll have to wait a little longer to see the most powerful rocket ever built when it will take flight for the first time. SpaceX had planned to launch a fully stacked Starship vehicle for the first time ever today, sending the gigantic spacecraft skyward from its Starbase facility.
We got a hand up here, Horace. Go ahead.
That didn't happen. With just under 9 minutes to go in the countdown, SpaceX announced an issue with the pressurization system on its first stage. Here's Dr. Sky, Stephen Gates with us with his Steve with more. Hi, Stephen. What do you have for us? Well, plenty to it. We begin, of course, with more information on the SpaceX Starship launch. As you mentioned, the pressure valve, but the next potential launch, according to what we're reading now live, is that the next launch window is Thursday, April 20th, between 9:28 a.m. and 10:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. I hope everybody gets a chance to watch.
I understand what you're saying, Horace. I think if you give time long enough, it's an inevitability. What are your thoughts on that?
The most powerful rocket ever. We move on to the second planet, Venus. The late Venus Magellan spacecraft data in the 1990s. And onward shows evidence of some changes in what might be dormant or maybe even active volcanoes on the surface of this amazing planet.
That's a valid point. So you think, though, that something like the United Nations could take over the world, or has?
But they may show some signs of changes if they indicate lava flows. By the way, Venus has more volcanoes than any other planet in the solar system currently. More than 1,000 volcanic structures on the planet. Volcanic activity was pretty active, maybe as early as 2.5 million years ago. With the live sky a little early, Venus, of course, is the bright planet you see in the western sunset. Yes, that's the bright one. And just below Venus, the western sunset is Mercury. Recent information from scientists tell us that Mercury has a bright, brilliant tail in the sky, just like a comet. You have to have a special filter to see this.
That's a valid point. So essentially, there is a small cabal at the top that controls the world, and there's a lot of evidence for that. So, Horace, would you think that perhaps a small cabal at the top could control the world?
The gravity of the moon, Earth, and Venus, about this powered by 10 solar arrays. There's on board 8,000 pounds of propellant to spy on Europa, Kennedy, and Callisto to search for signs of water ice, maybe even possible life. So we can enter with a personal lifestyle, a rare hybrid solar eclipse on the 20th for those on the other side of the Earth. It is an annular solar eclipse, and then it transforms itself for some lucky viewers into a total solar eclipse. Some parts of the eclipse, of course, visible in both of those dynamics. Begins the path that is begins in Australia, Indonesia, and the Pacific Ocean. Now we look into the eastern sky at sunset. How about this bright star called Arcturus? Oh, that's a Silvus variant XB116. The third brightest star in the sky, George, some 37 light years away. How about this? Compared to our sun, the star's diameter is 20 million miles in diameter. Wow. It actually opened up the 1933 Chicago World's Fair with its light and a telescope. That light hit a switch that was above that World's Fair. An Irish meteor shower is on tap this week. We mentioned it last week. Look into the northeast sky after midnight voltage in the week. Peak activity Friday night to Saturday morning. Northeast sky shows a star called Bacon. Right in the area that is where the meteor should be coming out. It's one of the oldest meteor showers of all. More information always at theskylive.com. Email if you love those too. Dr. Sky Show. Email.com. What do we say? Always in the sky. I'm your navigator on the show on the highway to the heavens. I'm George. Only 40 days to the next big adventure we have left. In Oregon, looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to seeing you again. You're going to be great in Sedona. You'll be just very there. When we come back in a moment, Allie Marzulli with us with his latest book, Crop Circles, Secret Language of the Dragon, next on Coast to Coast Day. Consumer Cellular is the most trusted wireless brand, and they've been providing superior nationwide coverage for more than 25 years. Switch today and save up to half on your wireless bill. They offer unlimited talk and text with flexible data plans starting at just $20 a month. Their award-winning customer service team makes switching easy. Keep your phone and number, and activation is free. Plus, you can add a family member to your plan for just $15 a month per line. Never worry about dropped calls because Consumer Cellular has the exact same coverage as the major carrier, with coverage to over 99% of the nation.
I'm in agreement with you, Horst. There will be a world government of sorts. Do you think it'll come from the United Nations?
You can save up to $250 Go to consumercellular.com/Nori for a limited time. Get 25 off your wireless bill when you use promo code Nori. That's consumercellular.com/Nori and use promo code Nori for $25 off. Fun and Adventure has returned comics and graphic novels from Marvelous Entertainment, based on the thrilling sci-fi masterpieces by Marvin Sundell. Acclaimed comic creator Andy Fish and his team are bringing that sense of wonder and thrills and straight-on action adventures like those great old comic book stories you remember in their line of titles. iWagon, Haunted Planet, Space Runner, codenamed Adam Bond, Tales of Singularity, and the kid-oriented Wagon Genius. Join them at iWagon.com. That's iWagon.com.
How long does it take to tackle a home project? This year, you could cross it off your list before this